Tonight we have the LinkedIn optimization workshop with one of our mentors over there in Amsterdam. You're in Amsterdam right now, right, Niraj?
Right, right. But I'm based out of Munich. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're seeing a lot of activity out of that city as well. So, for a lot of you that don't know, your LinkedIn right now is infinitely more important than your resume because your resume you can go, or for those of you joining us from the UK, your resume or your CV you can absolutely go ahead and fluff up. But your LinkedIn, you are going, since it's a public facing profile, you're definitely going to go ahead and be a little bit more authentic with that. So, Niraj, by all means, walk us through step by step what they need to go ahead and do. And then for everybody else, give me a quick second here. I'm just going to pop this into the chat really quick. Oh, James, can you go ahead and enable chat so that everybody can chat with everybody?
Yep, I was just looking at that.
Yeah. So,
There we go.
and it seems like Mercedes has a question. If you can go ahead and just hit that, James.
Mm-hmm. Oopsie, sorry. Wrong button.
Should I share my screen?
You should share your screen and start presenting right now.
All right. So, hello everyone. My name is Neeraj, and I'm one of the tech mentors at Tech Career Europe. And I have an interesting topic today. I've been optimizing my LinkedIn profile quite some time now, and I have some pretty good insights into how to get recruiters your attention. So, before I talk about the strategies to optimize your LinkedIn profile, I would love if you could join our Whoop community. I'm just dropping in the link here on the chat, and let me share my screen. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Richard, can you see my screen?
I can see your
Yep.
screen just fine.
Okay, great. So we have this awesome Whoop community. Once you join the community, I'm going to be sharing a lot of other resources today. So hit the button, join for free, and you're going to get a lot of other awesome resources that I'm going to share today. So before we get into the tactics of optimizing your LinkedIn profile, let's first understand the market dynamics, what's happening in industry, and where is the job market headed right now. So in the last quarter, we saw some very big companies investing heavily in forward deployed engineers. Microsoft has almost invested 2.5 billion US dollars. They have 6,000 engineers right now deployed. OpenAI has invested for almost 4 billion US dollars, and they have another company now, and they're investing heavily in forward deployed engineering roles. There is almost an 800% FDE growth. And if you are in Europe, salaries are seemingly quite high. FDEs are getting paid up to 250, 300K, which is quite some money, and we all want to make money out here. So I'm going to be sharing some strategies on what you should do, how you should optimize your LinkedIn profile, and get those job interviews scheduled. And this is not going to be the end. I'm going to be having some follow-up sessions next week and the weeks after that. I'm going to be sharing not just about writing on LinkedIn, uh, but also how do you actually reach out to these recruiters? How do you send Loom messages? What steps you should follow, what you should not do, etc. So before I start, if you are job searching, maybe put in put it put your goals in the chat window, and I would love to help you. So let's start. So the first thing, these are the five components of any LinkedIn profile. We need to have a good photo. We need to have a good banner, uh, a nice headline, company logos, and the skills. And we have to make everything work in sync. So we cannot take one of these in isolation. We have to treat them as a system. So I'm going to be sharing everything about these five components, what you should do, what you should not do. And then I'm going to share some insights into how I got some interviews scheduled at some top big tech companies in Europe. So let's start. So the first thing is the first four things that you need to do, or you can do right now, is taking care of your profile photo, your banner, your headline, and about. So FD role is not about it's you're no more a software engineer. Yeah, you have to look like a consultant, you have to look like a salesperson. You are going to be sitting with some C-level executives, and that's why these big companies are investing in you. You need to show that you're competent enough, but also you're presentable. Uh, and the profile photo is the first thing that they're going to look at. So before you do anything else, first thing is get that good photo. Go to a professional photographer or ask your brother or a sister to click a nice photo. Look professional, look well groomed, and for example, if I show you my LinkedIn, yeah. So I invested quite heavily in my profile photo, and I've been getting a lot of calls from some very big companies. So first, get your photo set up. Second is your background photo. Many people still don't have a background photo on LinkedIn. So you want to have a clean image, and you don't need to invest heavily. There are some tools you can get those photos for free. Of course, it should match your personality. So you don't want to look like a tech professional, and you want a photo that reflects your personality. The third is the headline. I still see on LinkedIn many people writing tens of headlines. You need to have one clear, crisp headline. Just say that you are a forward deployed engineer. You don't need to write more or less. Okay. I see people writing forward deployed engineer slash product manager, etc. Make it crisp, make it precise. That's what the recruiters are looking for. They want someone who has clarity in who they are hiring. And this one is optional. You can or you cannot write. It depends if you're in the US or in Europe. Some people like to read the about section, some people not. I personally don't use this about section because most recruiters don't actually read it. Your experience and your photo, the certifications you have that you have play a much more important role than what you have in your about section. So those were the first four things. Let me know if you have any more questions. If you have any questions, just let me check the chat. Are there any questions? No. Okay. Okay, so we can move to the next section now.
Yeah, we'll keep a close eye
Next.
on a close eye on the Q&A, Niraj. You can keep going. Then we'll-
Okay. Yeah. So the next section. I'm going to talk about the company, the company logos, alignment with the role, and educations and certification. So if you have done a job and you have listed down a job next to a company, please ensure that your company has a logo. Never put a job without a company logo. These are some small things that recruiters pay attention to. Second is if you have a role, if you have done a role, if you have worked as a data scientist, machine learning engineer, I don't know, you could have done n number of things. Please ensure that your job description aligns with your next role, and also ensure that the dates that you are mentioning in your LinkedIn profile, it matches with your with the it matches with the dates that you actually did this job. The last one is education and certifications. Always put the degrees under education, and if you have done any courses, certifications, boot camps, they they are not degrees. So those sections, those topics would go under certifications. Yeah. Now, now we come to the meat of your profile, and most recruiters will be searching for you based on certain skills. And there are different types of skills. You have the technical side of things, you have the engineering skills, and you have FD specific skills. And you want to have that section of 50 AI skills. And when you join our Whoop community, we will also be providing you access to what skills you should be uh, targeting. Of course, we don't want you to lie. You, of course, need to be competent in these skills, but you don't want to write skills that's not relevant to the FDE roles. So, for example, these are some of the skills recruiters are looking for as part of your AI tech stack. You need to show that you have demonstrated some value building LLM integrations, prompt engineering, RAG pipelines, agentic AI, MCP, etc. Then you also need to show that you don't need to work as a software engineer because that's not your role, but you need to show some kind of proficiency in Python, TypeScript, building APIs, cloud, Docker, etc. The third one is FD specific skills. Now, FD is a hybrid role. So you're not just building software, you are actually consulting clients. Your job is not just to build, but also to sell. The companies have hired you so you can go to the client's website, uh, give them a lot of value, and also help your company to make more money. So you need to show that you have good skills in solution engineering, pre-sales, enterprise deployment, stakeholder management, GTM engineering, etc. So if you are in a job which matches one of these roles, you should highlight that. Now in Europe, every third person speaks at least uh, 2 or 3 languages. I speak almost 9 languages now. So if you have language proficiency, you should put it. FD role is a customer-facing role. And if you're in Europe, you would be interacting with customers from all around Europe, from French-speaking areas, German-speaking, Scandinavia. So if you have proficiency in any of these foreign languages, do list them under languages. Uh, if you have any GitHub projects, if you have any links, open source projects, link all of those projects, link all of those on LinkedIn too. Yeah. Now let's move to some of the 7 mistakes I see people make, and that's costing them their next $500K interview. So if you're in the US, FD role almost gets you that 6-figure salary. And the first step that you can do is optimize your LinkedIn profile, your CV, and then we can talk about cracking that FD interview. And I will be doing more sessions on how to crack FD interviews in the next weeks. But let's first look at the 7 mistakes most people make on their LinkedIn profile. First is they still have this green open to work thing on their photo. So if you have that, remove it. It signals desperation, and we don't want recruiters. We don't want to signal that we are desperate for a job. We need to show that we believe in our skills. We are competent enough, and we know that we can provide a lot of value to the customers. So if you have that green logo, remove it. Second is your banner. It should be crisp, it should be very clear, and it should reflect your personality. So don't make it too cluttered. Don't write a lot of tech that you have worked on XYZ technologies. You want to keep it very simple. So if you look at my profile, I love Scandinavia. This is when I was in Tromsø. Like keep it very simple, keep it clear. You don't need to write Python, TypeScript, AWS, etc. So third is, like I said, the about paragraph. It's completely optional. It depends on where you are. I personally don't add this. I keep it empty because I know from experience, no recruiter is actually reading this. I try to signal my competency through my skills, through the other certifications I have done, and uh, getting those recruiters on a call. For this, avoid any blank icons next to the jobs you have done. So ensure that your company has a logo, or try to get that logo if you don't have it. Fifth is, of course, the skills. You need to highlight all the four skills as I mentioned in the earlier slides. That is AI, engineering, FD, and languages. Uh, the sixth one is the dates and the titles should match your resume. So if you have a job, if you have listed a job in your CV, it should correspond to the one that's listed on LinkedIn. And always your degrees go under education, any kind of boot camp will go under certifications. Now, when you join the community, I'm also going to be giving you a bonus. I, in fact, went ahead and created I created a Excel table to help you write on LinkedIn. So you don't just want to optimize your profile, but you want to use LinkedIn as a system to establish yourself as a thought leader. So when you join the community, I'm going to be sharing this resource with you, where I'm going to share a 90-day plan on writing LinkedIn content on a regular basis. So this is a ton of information right now, so you don't need to worry about this. First is, of course, optimizing the profile and then using LinkedIn as a magnet. And I will give you some good tips on how do you write LinkedIn posts, how do you get people to view your post and become a thought leader in the industry. Now, I will also be sharing some copywriting examples on how you should structure your post, how should you write your hooks, how should you write the meat of your post, the summary, and the call to action. Um, so this is all. And when you join the community, we will also be sharing with you the FD career playbook. And we actually went ahead and we created a complete guide to optimizing your LinkedIn profile. So we will also be sharing this. And we go in this guide, we walk you step by step on what you should do. So it's like a mini tutorial. So step one, you first upload your profile photo, and we give you some nice tips on how you should appear, what you should do, etc. Second is how do you update your LinkedIn background photo. We also provide some suggestions on which tools you should use. Third is updating your titles. So you should not have these multiple titles. You should just have one crisp title. For example, if you go to my LinkedIn, I just have forward deployed AI engineer. That's all. You don't need to make this too complicated. You don't have to make it too complicated and add all of these titles, because recruiters are looking for just one competent FTE engineer. Then remove your about you paragraph. Add the step 5, add the company description for each position. Add photo icons for all companies. Step 6. Step 7, align the titles and dates on resume. Step 8, separate education and certification. Step 9, list the skills. When you join the community, we will be providing you a bank of skills that recruiters are looking for. Now, this is just one part of the LinkedIn strategy. When you join the community, and in the following weeks, I will also share how do you actually reach out to recruiters, what kind of messages you should send to recruiters, how should you structure your Loom videos. We want to have very personalized messages. So I will also provide you a complete outbound playbook to get you your next interview. Yeah, so that's all I had. And so tag me on LinkedIn and I will be providing you these resources. Join the community. This is the community link. I already shared that on the chat. Uh,
Yeah, we popped it into the chat. I will go ahead and actually follow up with if you guys have any questions, you guys can go ahead and actually ask here. But like um the big mindset shift that people need to have right now, and I'll actually share some additional resources, is that if you're going for okay, everybody's seeing my little Figma board here. This is actually from me just kind of like mapping out a short that I literally recorded today on TikTok. But the forward deployed engineering role has grown anywhere between, we have reports that says like 700%, upwards of 800%. Um, there's some places that are reporting it's as high as like 1,000, 165%. And this has been the growth trajectory for forward deployed engineers. This is one from Financial Times, and this is also one from A16Z. And as you guys can see, it's basically been trending upwards, upwards, and upwards. And it's easy to go ahead, which is why like definitely come into the community. And James, if you can go out there and get actually I'm gonna go out there and try to pull the call link. Schedule a call with our team if you guys have not already. If you guys have not already scheduled the call, I'm actually gonna pop in the call link into the chat, which I just did. Please schedule a call with us if you guys have not already. But overall, like there's a reason for it. This is the role right now that companies are hiring for in the highest abundance. That means they're racing to hire the most for deployed engineers. They're paying the highest rates. And VCs and investors are looking at them as the most effective modern day training ground for um, founders. And I'll go out there and dig into it. In terms of total comp, this role can range anywhere between $350,000 to $1 million. Um, venture capitalist, this venture capitalist right now at Theory Ventures, I don't know if you guys have heard of them. There's also a lot of VCs that are out there, says we are officially, as of July 7th, 2026, we're officially in the FDE arms race. Why every not just AI companies, but almost every company is looking to go out there and onboard forward deployed engineers on their team. Like Amazon launched $1 billion to bring on their forward deployed organization. Microsoft has launched, is dropping $2.5 billion, and they're going to be hiring 6,000 forward deployed engineers. OpenAI, they're dedicating an entirely new unit, which is called the OpenAI Deployment Company, and they're throwing $4 billion at solving this problem. Most people think that the reason for this, and it's in part true, I'm not going to say that it's not, is because we have a major problem right now in driving AI adoption. That is a very big problem. I won't undersell it, is that the majority of the AI tools that are out there, most people don't know a clue in how to use it, and the education for it is really bad. But the bigger reason why companies are racing to hire forward deployed engineers and they're looking to build up their own internal forward deployed engineering teams is because this role, based upon the data, Palantir has done an extremely good job of growing these people into startup founders. Just this year alone, this is the CEO of Paraform, which has built an AI recruiting platform that a lot of the companies such as Palantir, Ramp, Rippling, and Cursor uses. More than 335 Palantir alumni have started their own company. And some of these names you can go out there and actually recognize it here, right? So when you do the spread, this is actually from another VC. It's like, well, if you do the spread, Palantir has produced 63 unicorn founders. Bain and Company is second. They produced 29. Goldman Sachs is fourth with about 14, and Google is actually 12 for every 10,000 employees. So on paper, even like the return on investment for this talent is phenomenal. Even if they're not starting their own companies, effectively right now, if you are a Palantir forward deployed engineer, companies are rallying you to help build up that team inside their organization and really bring on that culture. So the most exciting IPO of the year has been SpaceX. The two other most exciting IPOs that are left in the year, one is going to be Anthropic and one is OpenAI, and they're both blowing billions of dollars. Next off, who else do we have? We have Kalshi that has passed $2 billion in annualized revenue, and they're in early IPO talks. The CEO of Kalshi, you guessed it, Ford Palantir for forward deployed engineer. NVIDIA-backed AI voice startup 11 Labs hits $11 billion evaluation and is also going for their IPO. So companies are realizing something, and this is actually why, like your link, bringing it back to first principles, why is your LinkedIn so important? Is because a lot of your interview generation is going to come directly from your LinkedIn. There are a lot of resumes out there floating that are floating right now in applicant tracking systems or otherwise known as ATS recruiter inboxes. So when we take a look at these roles, it's phenomenal the number of postings that exist for it. Just like this right now, 2 minutes ago, well, what ended up happening here? If you go ahead and you source for deployed engineers, 21 minutes ago, you'd have four deployed engineer over their AI revenue agents. And this is the hiring manager for Karan, senior manager for deployed engineering over there at Outreach. This is a sales automation tool. They're going to want to like, instead of just applying to the role, this is how most people would think about applying to jobs is why didn't you send Karan a message? Okay, you sent Karan a message. Like, why didn't you send Karan like a follow-up message? Again, you're not applying for a job and they're not just hiring you to do a job. They are assessing whether or not you could be a potential future unicorn founder. And that's actually the biggest, like I would say, the biggest mindset shift in our program is knowledge right now and your ability to perform a function is not as relevant as they are looking for attitude and they're looking for confidence. If you're taking a look at Y Combinator, they have a large inventory of forward deployed engineering roles. All of these positions, yes, you can go out there and apply. But one of the cool things is every single YC company will list the founder and it will have the direct LinkedIn handle of that founder. You can see exactly what they're doing right here. Funny enough, like Kaushi also came out of Y Combinator. You could see here, like Taylor, they are looking for a forward deployed, their own forward deployed engine. Sometimes you also see this profile called forward deployed product manager. It's essentially serving the same process. And then you'll have like the two founders seem to be in Japan. They both have LinkedIn. And I'll go out there and actually give you guys a bonus tip. Sometimes some of these profiles, they will also have the founders, not just their LinkedIn, but their X profile or their Instagram profile. They're going to want to know, why did you leave it up to chance? Why did you just send a resume and was hoping to get contacted? Why did you go ahead and actually follow up? In fact, one of the test cases that they have for candidates for deployed engineering roles, for those of you who don't know, I come from a recruiting background, is let's just say, for example, here, Niraj got rejected. They will actually see if Niraj is going to come back and say, so why was I rejected? Okay, so how can we turn this rejection around? So if I actually did this, they were looking for all those things because when you're trying to go out there and actually raise funding, do you think you just say, hey, we're looking to raise X amount of millions at a $1 billion evaluation and then companies just hand you over that cash? No, you got to go ahead and really fight for every single dollar. And they will say, no, 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 no. And then you keep fighting with them over and over again. So when I was a tech recruiter, one of the most common questions that they would ask, and the specific type of question would be like behavioral questions, like how would you rank your resilience? How persistent do you think you are? A lot of times they'll actually ask me like, well, if that person truly says they are who they say they are, why didn't they go out there and fight back? Why didn't they go out there and ask again? Why didn't they come back? Why didn't they go out there and actually prototype something and then hit and then pitch us again 2 or 3 days later? So they look for those things. If it's between the person that has more skills, of course they hire the person with more skills, but they look for the difference between a forward deployed engineer is that they look for more personality traits and they look for more characteristics. So something that I'm seeing here is like, how technical do you have to be for the job? It's important for you to be technical on the job, but what's more important is how you are presenting yourself because you're not just going for the job anymore. They're not just hiring a worker. They are hiring somebody that could be a possible unicorn founder for them. Um, so that was like really long-winded. Thank you for like, hanging out with that. But the mindset shift I think is very important where people have to realize this is the ultimate intention because almost every other role has been impacted. And I know we have some engineers that are here right now, and they're wondering, like, I have a phenomenal software engineering background. Like, I know all these coding languages and I've built all this stuff. Why am I not getting the job? And there are people, they opened up a role, it's called deployment product manager. So this is actually a deployment product manager position. And the person that's actually hiring for it is our friend here, Rohan. So deployed product manager codex, you actually have this person here, Rohan, that's I'm hiring for a new role, deployed product managers. And what did Rohan do before? You guessed it, forward deployed engineer over here at Palantir. So this is also another point that I want to go ahead and highlight to people is that it's so difficult to find somebody that can build, ship quickly, interact with customers, take feedback constructively, ship and iterate again, that they have also determined this. It's easier, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's easier and it's faster to build up somebody that's non-technical and get them to the technical acumen that they need versus a software engineer that knows how to build very well but doesn't understand how to deal with people. So sometimes they'll actually send the engineer out with either the forward deployed product manager or they'll send out the forward deployed product manager or deployed strategist first, gather up all the requirements, and then they'll send out the forward deployed engineer right after that. But like the term forward deployed, you are going to see it in almost every single role. It is going to be the hottest title because they're looking for future founders. Um, so moral of the story is this. Don't look at this like you're just getting any other job. You cannot approach it like any other job because they're not hiring for it like any other job. And they're not looking for you to do a job. They're looking for a possible future unicorn startup founder. Um, let's take a look at a few of the questions that we basically have here. Uh, I think we tackled some of them already. We have Rurs. Oh, will FDE be another prompt engineer, which was short-lived? Let me see here. Actually, James, can we give Rus or Ross talk access, please?
Of course. Let's see. This is from the chat here.
ROS. Yeah, you just click on the name.
Ross. Yep.
Yeah.
Give me a sec. Come on up, Ross.
Ross, what's your background? What city are you calling in from? Ross or Bruce? Hmm. Well, let me go ahead and actually put it up in short. That's a very fair question, considering how many roles have been thrown around. But the numbers simply just do not lie. Because number one here, that graph has only been trending up. And when you're taking a look at the number of founders, and this is just from the Palantir squad, the number of FDEs that have actually started their own companies and you take a look at the number of people that's worked in forward deployment, that has actually generated real value because like companies now, I actually talk about this with Niraj all the time. We spoke about it this Saturday, is you now have a track record of how much revenue you've generated, how many hours you've logged talking to actual clients, and they have a very strong track record versus most other startup founders, companies for the past 2 or 3 decades have been looking for people with certain advantages. Is it Harvard MBA? Is it people that are coming out of the special forces? Is it people that are coming out of Goldman Sachs or Bain and Company, Boston Consulting Group, like Stanford? Nobody has gotten a better return so far. I'm not saying like other people just like if you're not an FDE, you just don't matter, but on paper, they have gotten the best value as an investor, the best value off an FDE. So this is actually why a lot of companies that did not have that culture, they are looking for Palantir FDEs to come and help them build up an FDE army. I have, in the 10 years that I've been doing this, I have never seen a role where, and these are, my co-founder and I, we haven't even gotten deep yet, but in the past 17 days, we've seen probably more than $30 billion being deployed. And they're not just hiring for the US. We're talking Europe and Asia. And we're not just talking about AI adoption. We're talking about building up an army of future unicorn startup founders, like the Navy SEAL rock stars of the future. So, like, they're here. They've been here. This role is not new. It's been here for 16 years. It was started by Palantir back in 2010. It's just that they've had a decade and a half of just perfecting this recipe
It's funny
of
you
the
keep bringing up like
process.
food references. Apparently, it was the role was inspired by restaurants. Did you see that carp
Yeah,
interview?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Um,
The French restaurant waiter.
yeah, yeah. Like the bougie waiter, right? Like
Right.
that's what it's about. It's about a combination of selling concierge service, right? Like it's a proper stakeholder experience, right? Which I thought was hilarious, right? But
Right. Right. The people that you're going to be that have actually been pretty successful in addition to engineers that are moving into the space has actually been investment bankers, and then also you have a lot of management consultants. You're seeing the FDE model really disrupt traditional management consulting because you generally, for management consulting, you'd have a team go out there, fly out Sunday, go on client site Monday, and then start doing a presentation for possible solutions on a Wednesday or Thursday. And they say they need the minimum two, upwards of 3 to 4 months. At this rate, if a team came out to consult tech careers for McKinsey, James and I can't expect to hear back from these people probably like 2 weeks before Halloween. Uh, the FDE is going to come and take their lunch because they will gather up all the feedback within 3 to 5 hours tops and start building in front of people. And they'll gather the feedback up very quickly, whether or not it's actually adding value to the customer, and they will actually see whether or not the number one problem that forward deployed engineers are solving is helping their customers get more customers. And they will know very quickly because they're just building and iterating on site. That feedback loop is just, it's too short. It's so quick. So like how fast can I pivot from a product? Ross, have you scheduled a call with us? We'd love to go ahead and actually speak with you. Let me go ahead and actually get that consultation link. It can happen. The market right now is on fire because of the amount of money that's just being deployed right now. Were there any companies that you had in particular? Schedule a call with us. We'd like to know a little bit more about your background to give you a better. People always ask us that, how fast can we? Either myself, James, or somebody on our team, we really got to take a look at your background and to see where are the skills gaps. Um, to see where the skills gaps are to be able to give you a better timeline. For some people, it's going to take a little bit. No, reach out right now, man. Forward deploy. Book the link right
dude,
now.
I just got reached out to by like an app that I put in yesterday.
Yeah. From what
Um,
company?
Dynamo AI,
Wow.
dude. Like they can't move. They can't move fast enough, right?
Care to share, or we don't want to jinx it yet?
I don't want to jinx it just yet, but
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay.
in
Okay.
a little
Okay.
bit. But yes,
Yeah. So, actually, this week we have not just one, but actually two people that got reached out to by Palantir. Um, so limiting factors is something that companies look for a lot because you should be operating like, you know, they don't look at it's not the traditional interview process either, where it's just like 1 round, 2 rounds. They take a look at if they gave you feedback on what is it that you need to go ahead and actually work on, like what are you doing with that information? So if you come back to them in 2 days, nobody's perfect, right? You come back to them in 2 days and you prototype something that speaks louder more than like a lot of times when I was in recruiting, people would ask, like, "Hey, Jake, how would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of resilience?" Oh man, I never quit. And then they get one rejection email, you never hear back from them again. When we actually ran a session where we followed up with every single company that rejected our people in the program just for one full day, we were able to book north of 40 interviews that day. Obviously, you got to come back to them with just more than, hey, you still hiring? Bring them something. Find what do you think you did wrong in the interview, right? Um, or like, what do you think you could have done better? So if you lose out on an account, let's just say Anthropic sent you out to JP Morgan Chase and they said they didn't find a lot of value. How do you deal with that in real time? They look for those kind of things. So Anything we want to go ahead? We're 44 minutes in. I saw some questions from Ross, but did anybody else have any other questions? If not, going once, going twice, we'll go ahead and actually come close to just wrapping it up.
Yep. And keep in mind, like this was streamed on LinkedIn, and so if, we will share the recording, but you could probably find that recording in short order on Rich's LinkedIn as well.
100%.
Let's get it.
Let's get
Alrighty, boys
it. All
and
right,
ladies and
folks.
gents.
Niraj, thank you so much for your time. I know it's
Good
late over
stuff,
there.
Niraj.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
We'll
much.
go ahead and just a few things for the people that are already in the program. Tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday after, and if you guys want to sit in here as a guest, definitely let me know. But on Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to do a quick session on 11 Labs, how to build a voice AI agent. By Friday, we are the people in the program. I want you guys to all be applying and submitting your application for the 11 Labs brand ambassadorship. So in order to apply to be a brand ambassador, you got to go out there and build a quick project. Tomorrow I'll give an overview, some prompts of what we can build out. And then Thursday, no later than Friday, we definitely want to go ahead and actually just apply in there. Okay, folks, that's something we're going to take over. And then also, we had another person pass the Claude Certified Architect Foundations again today. Justin Edwards. Yo, my man, do you want to say a few words in terms of what was your experience like coming back from battle? James, perfect. James, you want to go ahead and give Justin talk access?
Congrats,
Justin,
Justin.
yeah, pop open your mic and your camera. Let us know what was your score and what was your experience.
Justin, are you good for the mic? Justin raised his hand. You are actually a panelist, Justin. You should be good to go. Not
No, the
sure.
other one, the other
Okay.
one, the other one. He logged in
Oh,
with two
sorry.
Justin Edwards accounts.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, buddy.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm outside. I just stepped outside.
No
You may
worries.
hear some ambient. But yeah, no, it was good. It was challenging. I got 737 out of 1,000. So just, just there. My biggest strategy was going on after reviewing all the material, search Safari and just doing as many questions as possible. So I did about half the questions to kind of get a feel for how they, if you know the material, that's one thing, but how do they ask it? Are the questions kind of exclusive or inclusive? Just what are the habits in terms of what they consider right and wrong, and what kind of looks you get. That helped, considering the fact that I didn't, I started studying maybe a month ago, but then I dropped off to do content and didn't really hit it until about 5 days ago. So I would say just looking at as many questions as you can, and learning from the patterns that you see in the questions.
Got it. Got it. What any other advice? Anybody else have any questions they want to go ahead and ask Justin about taking the CCAF? No. The
Hey,
Claude Certified Architect Foundations is a very important certificate in going for the FDE because it's also shown that you're part of the Claude Partner Network. Niraj, when do you think you're ready for the exam? I think you're ready tonight, man. You technical. You
I'm
very, huh?
I'm planning to take it in the next 2 weeks.
Got it. Okay. We've also popped in our application for the OpenAI Partner Network. These skills that are like Claude API, Skills Agents, MCP, um, you definitely really want to own them because like Claude Code 2.0, because uh, OpenAI will have their own version of it, and there will be another certification process. So, like, the faster you just get this foundation done, we saw a lot of changes with the exam, and I think it actually got a little bit more difficult because the more people that post up on LinkedIn and TikTok that they passed, The longer you wait, actually, the more difficult you are kind of making the exam process. So definitely try to get it out of the way as soon as possible. Uh, Catherine, we look forward very much to speaking with you tomorrow. Let's go ahead, get it. If you guys have any other questions, ping me. And then actually here, I don't recognize his name, James. Can we go out there and click on a Carson Cunningham?
I
It's
was
actually a
just
first.
gonna say the same thing. Hey Carson, welcome to the party, brother. Any questions, thoughts? Um, Feedback would be great as well.
Um, Kind of on the spot here. Nothing I really have to say. I appreciate the stuff you guys are doing. This has been good.
Awesome, awesome.
What's your background right now, my man?
My background, I was an engineer right out of undergrad. I went back to school and got my MBA full time, and then I did tech consulting for about 4 years, and then I did product strategy for about 2.5 years. But currently looking for a new full time role and like definitely interested in exploring more of these forward deployed engineering positions.
Well, last time I checked, they just added about another 43,000 openings. It is there is by data wise, there's no position right now where they have one title that's in greater abundance at these salary rates that companies are racing to onboard. And VCs are more excited about when they actually see that name, that title next to their name. So if you haven't scheduled a time to chat yet, somebody on my team would love to go ahead and actually talk a little, learn a little bit more about your background, figure out your situation, Carson.
Appreciate it. Sounds good.
100%. We have more trainings. We have actually more trainings to come. Everything's about being built in public. In the upcoming weeks, we will be reaching out to these companies and hiring managers live. So let's get everybody's resumes, LinkedIn polished up. Let's also get the portfolio uploaded as well. Very big difference between most roles and forward deployed engineering roles is your YouTube portfolio is effectively your resume because they really want to see how it is that you communicate. And let's go out there and get ready to start. Let's make this thing a hot summer. All right. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank
Thanks,
you so
y'all.
much.
Thanks,
Reach
Mirage.
out if you
Bye.
guys have any questions. Thank you, Niraj.
Thank you.